Morning everybody, welcome to another vlog of Webby Sports Roundup. This is going to be top of the list, I think. It's one of my 15 questions and 15 answers. Three great guys. They actually support one of the biggest and follow one of the biggest football clubs in the world. You better believe it. They were over a couple of weeks ago. I did a video with them. Anyway, cut long story short, they said they would do the 15 questions for me. And on top of that, the three of them have done it all together. It is one of the best. It's just funny, hilarious. The answers are superb. And they all have different answers. It's just magic. Listen, if you've just joined the channel, Webby Sports Roundup, here in the Canaries, I'm the only geezer that does a YouTube channel on sports. That's how sad I am. Everyone else does everything else, but with a little bit of bust, a little bit of dawn in between. But today is going to be superb. You've got to watch this right to the end. The answers that are blowing them up on the top of the gale. I've done it last Shafira's, taking the boss shopping. She's gone shopping. I'm doing the vlog. So Webby, do us a favour, stop offering, and look at this. Get on with it. Webby Sports Roundup here in sunny Tenerife, in my manor. You'll love it. I'll speak to you later on.
Hi folks, and welcome back to the Celtic Unrestricted View podcast. It's myself, JP. Joining me this evening is my two good men, Mr. Alan Stirling and Mr. Ryan Clifford. Well guys, we're on for a good friend of ours tonight, and he's asked us to do this for some time now, and this is us just getting around to do it. So this is for Webby in Tenerife on Webby Sports Roundup. Usually he adds like he's sitting in his manor or whatever else it may be. But
the governor and all that.
The governor and all that. But this the other word he likes to use, the daddies and stuff like that. But,
That's all the two daddies in there.
He's asked the real daddies to record this from the night, that's for sure. So basically this is just a wee kind of a bit of fun and 15 questions as a sports fan or a football fan, if you make it. First of all, how are you lads? Ryan, your good self, mate?
Yeah, I'm all good, mate. It's been nice in Glasgow. Obviously, Webby's used to the sunshine in Tenerife, so it's really nice over in Glasgow at the moment. So it's also good to meet Webby in person. Myself and I haven't met him recently in Tenerife, so it's obviously good to get some content over there with him. And obviously good to do this for his channel as well, Webby Sports Roundup, mate. So I'm well and hope you two are well as well.
Yeah. Alan, how are you, mate, since I last chatted with you the other day?
Yeah, fantastic. I look forward to doing some questions, a bit of different content for obviously Webby's channel. We interviewed him, as Ryan says, over in Tenerife, and he was a gentleman, lovely guy. So hopefully we'll get some videos with him in the future, and I look forward to it. I hope he's very well, and just like you two guys.
Yeah, cheers, mate. I'm good. Like Ryan says, I think everybody feels good when the sun shines out, and this fine Friday was glamorous outside. It was really nice and warm, and as I say, and every time I walked out my back door, you're smelling a different smell of barbecue stuff floating by you. So it's as soon as the weather's out, people are out barbecuing and they've got the beers flowing and everything else. Apart from me, because I'm in here doing this for Webby, so I'm not doing that tonight. And so let's get into it, guys. As I said, it's 15 questions as a sports fan or a football fan in our case. So we'll just do them in order, I think, as they come. So the first question is, who is your favourite current player? Ryan, I'll put that one to you first, mate.
Current player, it was Matt O'Reilly. Obviously, then he's went to Brighton now, so it's very hard to pick a specific player because of how well we're playing. But I'm going to go with Bernardo. I've got a real soft spot for Bernardo. I have said it when he signed for Celtic that I really rated him as a player, and I just think he's evolved into a really good player, and I stand by what I say. I think he'll be one of the next ones that will make Celtic a hefty profit, and he'll make us a really good team as well. And we've seen it obviously in the Derby game at the weekend. And so I'm going to go with Bernardo. That might be a bit of people will probably say, why you picked Bernardo? But I've liked him as soon as he signed for us, and now he's signed permanently. And for me, I'm going to go with Bernardo. It could be McGregor and Hatate, but I think they'd be a bit obvious for me personally, because we know how good they are, and we know how good they have been. McGregor. If I was to say, like in terms of who I think's the best player, I'd go with McGregor. But in terms of who they are like, and what I liked about him, I'm going to go Bernardo just as it stands, because I think at the moment he's going to be a very good player for Celtic.
What about yourself, mate?
Yeah, I think everybody that watches his channel will definitely know who my favourite player is. I
Liam
never
Scales.
stop going on about. Oh, hi, Liam Scales. Never stop going on about Rio Hatate. I think you see his vision, his technique, his range of passing. Rio Hatate, for me, is probably the best midfielder in Scotland. And I'd probably go as far as saying I think he's the best player, best midfielder we've had in quite a considerable amount of time. I think he offers you that kind of something special. I think some of his long range passing as well, that he can pick the kind of forwards out, the runs that kind of Kyogo makes for him. I think he's got that something special that a lot of players that we've got at the minute maybe don't offer that. So he can basically make a goal out of nothing at all. With basically his vision and his footballing technique. So for me, there is a lot of players we could choose from, as Ryan said. We're all in an extremely good vein of form at present. But for me, it would be Rio Hatate.
Rio Hatate and Bernardo.
What about you?
Two good choices, lads. Listen, I know this is probably going to be obvious, and probably I'm going to be different for you two, and I'm going to pick right now in current form. I'm going to actually say Greg Taylor. I'm really enjoying watching Greg at the moment. I really think he's come on leaps and bounds. You're watching him under Ange, then you watch him under Brendan Rodgers. Tell me if I'm wrong, lads, but I feel as if we have went back to similar style to Ange, which means we're getting the best out of guys like Greg Taylor.
I would say so. Like I say to you on the phone, JP, I think the way that Ange's team won't be as good as us, or Ange won't get the recollections he did in terms of being the best team we've seen, as if we do well in Europe this year, then I think Rodgers will take over him. I think that's what's standing between Rodgers and him in that way, to my opinion, for the fans anyway.
You just watch how he sets the standards, especially in the derby there. That one he nicks off Czerny and plays a brilliant pass into Kyogo. It leads to the second goal. That's not the first time Taylor's been that, and he's been that, involved and impressive in the game. I think his passing's unbelievable. He's one of the best guys I've seen it coming in and being inverted in the pitch. Sometimes you find him and he's in the sixth position, wanting to take the ball off the centre halves. I just think his pivot, his vision is unbelievable. I think it was one of the moments in the game in Sunday there where he plays a crossfield ball right onto Nicholas Kuhn's knee for him to take a touch and just set himself to go by Jeffy again. So for me, watching Greg Taylor's, again, you've got guys like McGregor, you've got other. I just didn't want to be the same as everybody else, and for different reasons, I've picked Greg Taylor. I think Greg Taylor's certainly the most improved player on the side, out with probably a big Liam Scales, I know, because I've seen his interview. He's getting interviewed getting ready to play England, and he says, "What a 2 weekends that is! You won the derby, and then you following weekend you're getting ready to play England." So, but Greg Taylor for me, he's been outstanding, and another reason as to why things are so comfortable with us just now, in that side of the pitch for me. I just think his footballing ability is unbelievable, and maybe we need to sign a left back every week, by the way, because I just thought he raised his game humongously on Sunday for us, especially in a big game like the derby. Right, so we're on to question 2 now. So this one I'll put to you first, Alan. I'll do it the other way. This one is your all-time favourite player. I don't generally know if this needs to be Celtic either, lads. I don't know if it can be at any point in football.
I think to be explained to us when we spoke about this, I think it is for your team.
Right, okay.
So
that's
we'll
fine.
just go along with that.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Question. Yeah. For me, there only is one. Obviously, I grew up at a similar time as you, JP. Maybe a couple of years older, but you can see that anyway with this pretty face. But there's only one that's...
Hold on a minute. Thanks very much.
By the way,
Aye.
that's what makeup does for you. By the way,
No. He looks as if he's been Davy Weir's class at school, doesn't he?
You know, as if you're about 116.
I was at school Johnny when
You
Davy
were
Weir was at
Webby's
school,
class?
by the way. No, he was a year below me, mate.
I went to different schools together.
Aye.
Right, for me, there's only one answer for me during that time period, and that is the King of Kings, Mr. Henrik Larsson.
Okay.
For some of the things that he gave Celtic, the amount of trophies, winning the Golden Boot while he was playing in Scotland, and for him to kind of stay here for 7 years, I don't think that quality of player you'll ever see anybody like that stay in Scotland for that amount of time. So he was very loyal towards the club, and as I say, Golden Boot. And when he left Celtic, he went on to play for clubs like Barcelona and Man United at 33-year-old, I think he was, when he went to those clubs.
Yeah.
I think roughly. So I think there is a lot of great players that we've seen in my time, but for me, there's only one that's the greatest player that I've ever seen at Celtic Park, and that's Henrik Larsson.
Right, okay. Great choice, I know, by the way. Absolutely tremendous choice. Ryan, what about yourself, mate? The greatest player of all time?
I think it's got to be Larsson, JP, for me as well. I was...
Do you remember him?
I'm here listening. We're that old, young, sorry. I can briefly... That's when I started. That Martin O'Neill era was roughly when I started kind of knowing football, if that makes sense. Getting to the age where you cannot understand it. And Martin O'Neill's team that's the team I remember growing up. That was the team that took me into kind of football. So for me, listen, it's got to be Henrik Larsson. I don't think any Celtic fan who's watching this on Webby's channel, I don't think I need to explain how good Larsson was. You just need to look him up and just look at YouTube and just look at his accolades and the goals and the way people speak about him. He was generally a world-class footballer playing with Celtic. World-class finisher, had everything to his game. He could head the ball, he could strike the ball, he could tackle, he worked hard. He was just an all-round world-class striker. And you don't get them much these days, because these days you might get like a Haaland who's a finisher, but then you might get somebody else who can hold the ball up. And very rarely do you get all-round strikers now. And Larsson, for me, was that. So I think no doubt it's Henrik Larsson.
Yeah, another, like I say, that obviously, the thing is with Celtic, we're spoilt, aren't we? Because we've had that many great players through the years, but there is only one guy for me growing up. The guy that got me into proper football. As soon as I seen him the first time, I wanted to see him again and again and again. And my dad started taking me to games. Paul McStay, unbelievable man, the maestro. He was frightening. And people go like that to me, JP, why do you not pick Larsson and stuff? I just think he's too obvious, because he was world class. But Paul McStay, he was everything that represents Celtic, and he was one of us as well. He was a massive Celtic fan, which is why he remained a Celtic player. He had his chances. He could have went to Juventus and he could have went to some other clubs along the way, but he chose to stay loyal. And unfortunately, Paul had to chuck football early. And I remember a game where he played, and he was walking around the way the players do it now when they congratulate and clapping the fans and stuff, and he threw his boots into the crowd, and that was him. He chucked it. That was him. That was him finished. That was him. Everybody thought he was away to Juventus. Everybody thought he was leaving and he was going elsewhere. No, that was him. He chucked it, and that was a huge, humongous lot. I remember the feeling that left with a lot of Celtic fans then. And Paul McStay was really unlucky as well. For me, Paul deserved more success because of who he was and what he gave Celtic. It was just unfortunate at the time. We just didn't have that team to get us over a lot of the lines. But I know he won the Scottish Cup against Airdrie and stuff, but Paul deserved to win more. in my opinion. The football we played, you think back to Paul McStay, remember him and Peter Grant together? Great team. I think I've got a photo, I'll send you boys it when I'm finished here. I've got a photo when John Collins was at Hibs and Paul McStay was at Celtic. And Paul McStay's got a kind of mullet style haircut. And he absolutely schooled John Collins. And I think John Collins is on record at saying he's the hardest player he's ever played against. Just for the way he shields the ball and everything. So for me, the guy was phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And as I say, there's no beating that player. Obviously, the third question we're on to now, lads. I'm enjoying this. I don't know about you. I'm quite enjoying this. Just bringing back memories and all the kind of memories that are floating about in my head here. Just talk about this is brilliant. This one is the best signing your club ever made. I'll put that one again to you, Ryan.
For me, in terms of impact signing, you can say Larsson, you can say Commons. For the value you got, and for Larsson, you could probably say Larsson in terms of the money and kind of what he'd done for the club overall and how good he was. But I'll stick by what I've always said. The best impact signing I've seen was Scott Sinclair. The quality he showed, the power, the pace, it was an English Premier League quality that he came to Scotland, and the difference in quality that he brought to Celtic was phenomenal, and he well paid back his money. So for me, Scott Sinclair's the biggest impact and the best impact signing I've seen. Maybe not the best signing overall, but in terms of who came in right away and made an impact, for me, it's Scott Sinclair. And I think we'll find it hard to beat that, because he came in right away, scored his debut at Tynecastle, and he never looked back, mate. So for me, Scott Sinclair.
Alan?
I'm going to go further back a bit. I think Lubomir Moravcik for me, 300,000, the value that we got, and the fans when he was coming in, the press as well are saying, who is this guy at 33-year-old again, coming in out of nowhere, Slovakian guy that played in kind of lower sides in the French league, etc. But one of his first games against were rivals across the city, Rangers, scored a couple of goals and looked around the stadium as if he didn't know, as if he'd landed on Mars.
No, he didn't know what he'd done that day.
He'd actually done. But some of that guy's technique and his skill, his footballing ability was absolutely second to none. I would put him definitely up there, one of the best Celtic players I've seen in my lifetime. It was absolutely incredible with the ball at his feet, and some of the goals, some of the passes he made, just an all-round top player. And when you're talking about 300,000 for somebody of that calibre, I think that's a absolutely fantastic signing and probably one of our best we've ever had, I'd say.
Yeah, two good choices and all, lads. My best ever signing for the club, I think, for value, did I get 50 grand, boom. And he was turned from a striker into a right wing back by Martin O'Neill. So, dead easy. And he had blistering pace that added a lot to our team. He gave us a whole new tool that we never had at that time. And he was a massive, massive threat. About the way Maeda is now, he was a massive, massive threat. And a lot of teams used to hate playing against him. They used to try and double up on him, treble up on him, when he worked, just because of how quick he was. I always remember the vivid memory I've got at Ibrox where he gave Arthur Newman a starty and he just coasted by him and ran right by him and get a cross in. I think John Hartson actually scored off it, but no, he did a gap for me. Question 4, the worst ever signing, Alan.
All right.
How long ago?
I forgot about this question. I know there is a few. I think originally I did go for a certain Brazilian that we brought in during the John Barnes era, wasn't it? For 5 million. It was a guy called Rafael Scheidt, and that his name kind of sums up what he actually played like. So I'd go for it. We spent 5 million, which I think might have been it was nearly it. I think that might have been a record signing actually, because that was before the likes of kind of Hearts and Sutton and Leonard come in. So I think
Yeah.
that might have been our record transfer fee. And you didn't see much of him at all. You seen right away. I think it was just they'd signed him because he was Brazilian, and you seen right away the guy couldn't play football whatsoever. And quickly, I think he just returned home, and there wasn't a great deal said about it. But yeah, I'd probably say because of the amount of money and how little impact and whatever impact it was dreadful. I'd probably say that's our worst ever signing.
Ryan?
I think mine's quite short and simple. I think it was Dewey, played against Clyde 45 minutes up the road. And he was never seen again after that game. He was never seen again. And he obviously at the time, Adam Vogel, I think, was kind of trying to get into the team again. And I Adam thought he was going to be playing, and then they put Dewey in. And again, we don't know if that was due to the publicity side of things, that Celtic had to do it for publicity due to the television rights and whatever else. But that's a short one for me, Dewey. I think I don't think anybody can argue with that. I know we've had guys like Marvin Compere and other guys that no really played much, but 45 minutes of jersey never seen again. So for me, it was the centre back Dewey.
Yeah, I'm going to go again a wee bit different. Dirk Barigta. Again, he came.
Really?
He came. Mate, he was absolutely atrocious, man.
Yeah,
he came. Yeah, he was poor. He was bad, and he was poor for a number of reasons. Ryan, he was poor because one, he was made of chocolate. He fell and he was broke. After that, he wasn't fixed against Ross County. He just couldn't get going at all. And he came with a bigger profile as well. He came for Ajax. I think to yourself, the fee that we'd paid for him was just over £3 million. So he came with that kind of like
pedigree.
Yeah, he came with that sort of profile and pedigree. And he had a bit of swagger about him as well. I remember a couple of the players talking about it at the time in the papers. So way back then, they didn't have like social media and a lot of it wasn't as big as what it is now. And I remember a couple of them saying he thought he ruled the place. No, he was walking in and he's going, right, that towel's damp. Why are you giving me that towel? I want it pure dry and it's got to be a wee bit crusty on this side. And players were looking at him as if to say, who are you? You know? And you can't even get fit for a game of football. What are you doing? Oh, look. So for me, Dirk Barigta, just short and simple. Absolutely. Right. Question 5. The best game you have ever been to? Alan.
I'm trying to think of something different because there's probably a couple that you'd say as well. But I could have said like the 6-2 game against Rangers, but I'm going to go with the win against Man United. The Nakamura free kick, the one at Celtic Park, obviously. I think we went down 3-2 with Nakamura scoring a free kick at Old Trafford. That was a bit closer, but probably the best free kick I've ever seen in my life. Edwin van der Sar in goal, top quality goalkeeper, and you could have walked up to the goal and actually placed it. You could have placed it any more in the top corner. It was basically, I think it was approaching maybe 30 yards out, the free kick. Absolutely unbelievable. That result made us, we qualified that night for the last 16. And just to make it a bit more entertaining, we had an Artur Boruc save from a Lewis Saha penalty involved in that game as well. So there's been a lot of entertaining and brilliant games at my time at Celtic Park, but I could have went with a kind of Scott McDonald against AC Milan, Massimo Donati against Shakhtar Donetsk, but for me, that Man United game, it basically had everything, and that was my best game probably at Celtic Park.
Ryan?
I would probably say the 3-0 game under Ange against Rangers, the night-time game. I think it's February, March time.
Yeah, February.
That was one of the best games I've ever seen. It's one of the best Celtic performances I've seen. Everything was quick, it was out of traps. Mentally, I think since that game, I think we've shattered Rangers. I think they're scared to play us, especially at Celtic Park, since that night, because it's it's the best atmosphere I've ever been in. It was intimidating. It was ferocious. It was the lights. It was a misty night. It was just one of the games that you want to go to. It was if you could get it again, you would want to go and see it again.
Yeah.
So, and the fact that I had a wee bet up as well for that game, I had the scoreline as well. Obviously, gamble responsibly, but I had a wee bet on that night as well. So, I was happy. I said all week 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, and it was. So for me, that's a game that sticks in my mind. We were brilliant that night. We were absolutely brilliant, and for me, since that night, I don't think they've kind of recovered from it. So for me, it's that game 3-0, and that for me that sticks in my memory, mate.
For me, again, there's a lot to choose for because we've Celtic, we've watched Celtic win loads. For me, it's got to be the night we beat Barcelona at Celtic Park. The one Wanyama and then Tony Watt scored. Two reasons. One, the game was awesome, right? The scoreline, the way we played, everything was brilliant. The fact that we had Effie Ambrose and Adam Matthews playing at left back in the same sort of formation, and we had Big Miku up front as well, and we still beat them 2-1, was phenomenal. And not only that, lads, it was Celtic's 125th anniversary as well of the club.
Scott Bowden missed that night as well.
A lot of them were missing, Ryan. A lot of them were really missing. Joe Ledley was in the midfield. Samaras played as well. Chris Commons, Kelvin Wilson. We had a lot of players out as well that were missing for the first team. I don't think Gary Hooper played either.
No, he didn't.
I think quite a few of them were missing that night. But yeah, that was special. And being in the main stand that night, kind of beside the Barcelona fans, they didn't know what to do, man. They were kind of like, what is this? The noise of the place, the way when Celtic scored, just what happened. I believe that night the stadium moved. I believe the full stadium moved when that goal went in, when Yamashita. And then when Tony Watt ran through and scored, he was only a young boy at the time. And he ran through and he scored that winner. I remember looking along the trackside and you see Neil Lennon just bouncing about all over the place. It was just a phenomenal feeling. Plus, it was Celtic's, as I said, 125th year anniversary as well with the club. And there was a big tifo up as that as well. Yeah. So it was in the North Stand, it was 125 anniversary. So phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Right, question 6. Ryan, your best away ground?
Probably going to say Tynecastle. Tynecastle's a good place to go and play your football if you want a good atmosphere. It's right on the park. It's quite intense. Hearts fans, when they're on song and their team's winning, it can be right on you. Some good atmospheres at Tynecastle, but the majority of the time recently Celtic have done well there. I know last season we get beat, and I think under Brendan to stop the run, I think it was 69 games or 70 games or something like that. Don't know about that type of. Yeah. Obviously, when they hammered us, we were terrible that day. But I would say Hearts in terms of atmosphere and how intense it is, and kind of just going there as a player and a fan. I think it's an atmosphere in a stadium that you would enjoy going to. So for me, I would say Tynecastle.
Okay, Alan.
I know it's no fun, but I would really like to say we're rivals. Obviously, that's a stadium that we all enjoy winning on. But I would be between that or Tynecastle. Tynecastle, you know yourself, boys, as the players are right next to the stands and the fans are right on top of everything when the game's going on. So it is quite a different stadium with how close up the fans are to the players. So I'd probably slightly tend to agree that with Ryan that I'd go with Tynecastle for the favourite. It's obviously special to win the home of our rivals as well. So I'd be between the two, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm going to say Anfield. Unbelievable. The road to Seville, we beat them down there, John Hartson. I remember being behind the goal when that goal went in. Frightening, man. What a feeling that was, I know. And again, it was just good because obviously the Scottish English thing as well, and the kind of Battle of Britain, they were trying to label it as well. And I think Gerard Hooley had a couple of unsavoury comments to make before that game that night. Stephen Gerrard was young as well. I think he got schooled that night. We were midfield 3. Lambert, Petrov and Lennon.
Mm-hmm.
And I can remember Momo Salah, I know, just coming on and running about mental and just kicking everybody and it was a great night, just a great result for us as well. And aye, Tomo's free kick under the wall and then Big Hartson's
Screamer.
what a finish that was, man. Like I says, I was in behind the goals and just what a night that was. It was just unbelievable. So for me, Anfield. Question 7. Alan, I'll sit this one to you first.
Yeah.
The club you dislike the most? I don't know if that's quite a harsh word, right enough, the dislike.
So Webby, we spoke to Webby about this certain question, and Webby specified that we hadn't to pick Rangers.
Okay.
So
Right.
my answer to Webby was, can we pick Rangers B or Rangers Women then? So I'll let you take Rangers Women. I'll go with Rangers B if we can't pick the full Rangers. I don't think there's any other answer. I think this will be a relatively quick round of questioning. I'll go with Rangers B.
Okay.
I know Webby said that we can't pick Rangers, but it's got to be. It's got to be our rivals. There's obviously people who are from Scotland. They understand the reasons behind everything that comes with it. When you're maybe for England and maybe far afield, you don't really get the fullness of it until you get to a game or you get to a match or you get round the fan bases. So I'm sorry, Webby, I know maybe we're not allowed to pick Rangers, but I think it's got to be Rangers because I don't really have any inkling of hating anybody else. So it's got to be your rivals, and it is for 90 minutes. For 90 minutes, it's boo and we don't like them, and it's a no go. But so for Rangers, it's got to be Rangers, obviously.
Yeah, I'm the same as you, Ryan. I don't care if Webby said that we're not allowed to. It's got to be. It just can't no be. And if he's not, if he just totally disses that altogether, and I'm going to say Ajax because of the fans when they came here the last time and smashing up the place and everything else, and just no a nice lot. So, So if it can't be Rangers, Webby, I'm afraid it needs to be Ajax, and because of the experience we've had playing them in Europe and stuff like that. So, question 8, Ryan, what's your favourite second team? I
want to say I've got a second team, but
okay, Alan, you got it.
But I would say a team that I like watching, and for some reason it was because of Ronaldo plays them, but even now I don't know if it's just because of the Galactico kind of stereotype or it's just because of who they are, but for some reason I've always had a thing for Real Madrid. Like, Barca played a better football, but when Real Madrid are on the TV or I'm able to get to a game or whatever, which has not happened, I've seen them at Celtic Park, but I want to watch them. So I'm going to go Real Madrid, make me watch football, if that makes sense. Right. I don't know what it is about them. I just, as soon as I see Real Madrid on the TV, I always tend to watch them. So I'll go with Real Madrid. That's the team I like to watch outside Celtic.
Okay. Alan?
Yeah. When I was growing up, obviously I was going to Celtic Park every second week. But the weeks that I couldn't go, I stayed round the corner for Firth Hill. So growing up used to be £1 to get in when you were a child. So I used to go and watch Partick Thistle quite often as well. But if you had to mention a team out with Scotland, I always had a kind of soft spot when I was growing up for Arsenal. And maybe that was the time that kind of Thierry Henry and Arsene Wenger, Dennis Bergkamp, etc. A lot of kind of skillful, technical players that were involved in Arsenal at that time. So it would probably be for me either Partick Thistle in Scotland lower leagues, well, the Championship, or I've always had a soft spot for Arsenal. Yourself?
Yeah. You're allowed to say Celtic Bees and Celtic Women's and
if you want,
Celtic Boys Club if you need to say that. No, I'm not. My second team's dead easy. Liverpool. It always has been since I was a wee boy. I always used to have their jerseys and stuff. I think because of the Kenny Dalglish thing as well, and the connection, and they sing "You'll Never Walk Alone." Not as good as us, right enough, but they sing it. God love them. But as I say, it's always been Liverpool. You remember like Ian Rush and John Barnes and guys that used to play for them, and Then they had the era with Jamie Redknapp and Steve McManaman and Robbie Fowler and Michael Owen. And I remember my dad always saying to me, the night Steve McManaman ran for his own half and beat everyone on your team and scored, and they went like, were you cheering? And I went, you were with me, so was I cheering? And he went, no. And I went, I think it's the first Liverpool goal I've never cheered in my life, I swear to God. I never saw Michael Owen's goal. It was a 2 each game, aye. 2 each, because Jackie McNamara and Simon Donnelly scored for us. I was at the toilet, I had to go to the toilet. And I missed Michael Owen's goal as well. He played when he was only, I think he was only about 16. So again, but no, my second team's Liverpool. Right, we're moving quickly now on to question 9. Ryan, fans that you dislike the most?
I'm sorry, baby, but it's got to be our rivals. It's got to be Rangers. I think it's.
If any of their fans are watching us,
no, I think any Celtic fan, Rangers fans would be the same. It's the same as Dundee, United. It's just the exact same. It's no like I'm not going to walk along any street and go, I hate you. It's just for 90 minutes. That's what it is. 90 minutes, and it's just hatred. That's what it is. That's the way it is in football with rivalry. I've got Rangers friends. After the game, you're buying my pint and stuff. That's just the way it goes. But yeah, I think there's only one answer for that. It's going to be your rivals. But again, I don't really hate anybody. But due to the question, it's going to be I have a dislike, obviously, for the rivals because we've got to beat them to win the league. So and obviously everything that goes with that. So it's going to be my rivals, Rangers.
And Ryan, see, obviously you've got Rangers fan friends.
Mm-hmm.
See if they get a pint off you and they drop the turn on it smashes, but they get another pint. Is it the same pint?
Probably no.
So that's how it works, boys and girls. That's how it works. It's not. It's a myth. Don't believe in the truth. Alan, yourself?
Rangers.
Wow.
Move on. Aye, that's
JP, yourself? Rangers.
Aye. There's nothing else to discuss.
No, there's nothing else. What player would you like to sign, Alan? Question 10.
Obviously, this question's aimed at an unlimited budget and players that would easily come to us. So for me, the most special player and the player that I like to watch at present in the last number of years has been Kevin De Bruyne. I think Kevin De Bruyne is probably, people talk about kind of Paul Scholes, Steven
Did they get a game though?
Lampard.
Obviously, Rio Hatati's on there, so that's what I'm asking.
Aye, I know. But for me, see, in that discussion, I'd put Kevin De Bruyne above the kind of players as well. I think his vision's absolutely incredible and it's a joy to watch. So if we had an unlimited budget and any player to pick to come to Glasgow Celtic, for me it would be Kevin De Bruyne.
Ryan?
It's a hard one. Obviously, for me, the best I've ever seen is Ronaldo. Obviously, I basically Cristiano. Obviously, R9. I was a wee bit young. I can remember him, but I can't fully remember seeing him play. But Cristiano Ronaldo, for me, I watched Real Madrid because of him. I watched Man U because of him. Juventus and stuff. I watched their games because of him, because it's just what that guy can do with football. I know Messi's, people have that argument, but I don't think you can compare them, just enjoy them. I just think it's just your preference. But if I was going to say somebody, I think I said it over on Tenerife to Webby, a guy that I've always thought was a tremendous player, he's now retired, was Tony Cruz. I've seen him at Celtic Park and wow, just unbelievable. I could say guys like Verratti and Rabiot, but Tony Cruz is just on our level. He was frightening that night. Him and Modric that night. But for me, Tony Cruz, he could score, he could defend, he can control the ball, control in midfield, and I think he would add something to Celtic in midfield. Obviously, you've got the guys we've got, but for me, Tony Cruz was a sensational footballer, and unfortunately, he's retired now. Maybe he's just thought he's got to do it now for his body, or maybe not enjoying it. But for me, Tony Cruz, even in the Euros area, he was phenomenal. So for me, it's Tony Cruz.
Tony Cruz. All right. I've actually never gave this a lot of thought, to be fair.
WEBBY'S brother, Tom Cruise.
And his sister, Penelope.
Aye.
What player would you like to sign?
We've already signed for somebody else by the time you've took.
I know. Well, I retired just the same as Tony Cruz. No. I'm probably just going to say this because how good he is and how influential he is. Kylian Mbappe. I just think he'd add humongous levels of quality. He'd have a fight in his ones right enough because Kyogo's there. So I don't know what we would do with him. Maeda's at the other side of him as well. So I think, but just Kylian Mbappe's just an unbelievable force, and I think he would fit into most teams and anywhere at all in the world, boys. So for me, Kylian Mbappe. What manager would you like to have, Alan? I'll start with you.
I'm quite happy with the manager we've got.
Yeah.
I said that over on Tenerife. I think both me and Ryan said that. You're obviously looking at the likes of kind of Pep Guardiola or Jurgen Klopp that have been the kind of best managers over the years, Carlo Ancelotti. But I think Brendan's a top elite manager, and I'm massively happy that we've got him at the helm of our football club. So I'm going to go with Brendan Rodgers.
Okay, Ryan.
Out with the manager, I think Guardiola is the guy that it would fit Celtic's system to a T. It would fit everything that Celtic stand for, the attacking play, and I think he would invert that tremendously. And he would with the money that Man City have got to Celtic, I think Celtic would, after a few years, would be kind of doing what Man City are doing, but that level of football. So, but for me, I'm happy with the manager we've got. I have to say, I will shout to the rooftops how good Brendan Rodgers is. He will get judged now, obviously, for Europe for Celtic this year. But for me, he's a top level manager, and I think he's the best we can get personally for the money that we're maybe offering and what we can offer him as well. So for me, I'm the same as Aaron. I don't think we'll get better right now as it stands than Brendan Rodgers.
Yeah, I need to go the same, boys. I can't go against that, to be fair. Just for a buzz and for a good laugh, I wouldn't mind seeing Big Klopp at Parkhead. I think his animations would be brilliant at Parkhead, and I think he would have us on, he would have us on cloud nine with some of the things he used to do in the touchline. I know he's took a bit of a sabbatical now for football, but nah, for me, top choice Brendan Rodgers. Just the
No
way
fancy Michael
he is,
Beale, no?
as a manager. Eh?
No fancy Michael Beale.
Michael Beale. Oh Jesus, man. I don't know. I don't even know if Michael Beale would get a job in the kiosks. I'm being honest. He might actually serving up these sausage molds or whatever.
Windfall tickets, innit?
All right, serving Paradise Windfall tickets with Liam Shaw. But no, for me, Brendan Rodgers all day long. Right, lads, getting a wee bit on. We've got a couple of questions left. Question 12. Ryan, Messi or Ronaldo in their prime?
See, I don't like to compare them because they're just world-class players and you need to appreciate the level they've got.
He's an answer.
But for me, just my personal preference, it's got to be Ronaldo. The fact that he's worked to where he's got to and scored over 900 goals in his career is over, I think it's around 30, 140, whatever it caps it is for Portugal. That's frightening. That is unbelievable to beat that standard still. I think 38, 39. So for me, it's got to be Ronaldo.
Alan?
I've got to disagree with that. For me, it's got to be Messi. I know it's that question that everybody, there's going to be a 50-50 kind of answer. But for me, we've seen both of them at Celtic Park. And for me, Lionel Messi, I think was it the first time we've seen him? Was it the Alan Thompson scored, didn't he? The FA Cup. Sure, he played in that game.
Is that the one that was about sending off?
And then we get beat with Larsson's first game back as well. And every time we've seen Lionel Messi, it's as if there's a bit of string tied to between the ball and his foot. His ball control is absolutely sublime. It's incredible. And that obviously both of them will go down as all-time greats in football. Cristiano Ronaldo has achieved some monumental things in football, but for me, I'm picking Lionel Messi against Ronaldo.
Okay. Dead easy for me. It's a dead simple one for me. Lionel Messi. The simple fact is he's won a World Cup. Ronaldo's never won it. And that separates both of them. That's what helps for me to decide even more. That separates the two of them. Ronaldo's won the Euros and he's won other things. I get what Ryan's saying, he scored more goals and stuff, but for me, Messi's phenomenal. Messi can do things that, I mean, Ronaldo's a brilliant finisher, but Messi's got that sort of technical ability to dribble past about 4 and 5 guys. Ronaldo used to be able to do that when he was at United out in the wing, but don't really see Ronaldo doing that now. You see Ronaldo like scoring good goals. But for me, Lionel Messi's got much more in his game in terms of being able to link up the play. You watch the 1-2s he used to play with, like Iniesta and Xavi, and they had right good camaraderie. Even Ronaldinho, who again is one of my favourite all-time players ever. But no, Messi for me out of the two of them. Question 13. Alan, would you have Harry Maguire on your side?
Yes. Would I pay 80 million for Harry Maguire? No. But do I think Harry Maguire's probably better than we have at present? The guy's got international experience, probably Premier League experience of the highest level. He is sometimes suspect to a wee mistake now and again, and I think that's why he gets a lot of criticism. But if it's a straight up question, would I have him in the Celtic team at the minute over the likes of kind of Liam Scales, then it's a definite yes for me.
Ryan?
I think you'd be silly to say no personally, because he's playing at a far better level than we're playing it in terms of league. You'd like to think Harry Maguire would easily, again, no disrespect to our league, I think Harry Maguire was throw Celtic the league. I know I've been kind of critical in the past at some of the big games. He's made some really, really bad mistakes, but if he's moving down to Scotland, then I think he would easily play with Celtic. JP. I don't think he would suit the way we play though. That's the thing. I don't think he's a footballing centre back. I think he's just a bit of no nonsense, just tackles and headers and kind of that physical side of the game. But I wouldn't class him as a ball playing centre back. Maybe Man U fans can maybe tell me different. But obviously like Aaron, money, no. If you were getting him for a few million, budget, but no 80 million. But yeah, I think he plays every day of the week over the defenders we've got. Maybe with him and Vickers, definitely.
Okay, I'm probably going to be a silly one then. I'm going to say no, because he's an absolute bomb scare. The reason is Ryan as well, he doesn't suit the way we play.
No, I get that.
He makes too many errors. Now, we've already got guys. I know people are saying he's playing at a good level, JP. Rob Douglas played in the UEFA Cup final. That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything. So to me, no. To me, I'm really glad we've got CCV, because at least he's got better and better and better for me. And but no, I'm not having Harry Maguire at all. I just can't, because I've been against the guy. I've slagged him off too many times, and not for me. Not for me. And especially the money he went for and all. Leicester must have been rubbing their hands together when Brendan was there and sanctioned that deal and went, oh yes, your beauty, here we go. But not for me. And everybody's different, I suppose. I think that's it as well. But no, not for me. Right. Question 14. Second favourite sport.
I'd probably say I used to like tennis. I've not played it since, obviously. I got a bad knee injury, so. But I would say in terms of, I like watching Wimbledon and I like watching kind of the big tournaments with tennis. So, and I think it's just the fitness of these guys, like your Djokovic's, like your Djokovic's, your Federer's, Nadal's, and Murray, and the level they get to in terms of body wise and athletes, they continually do what they're doing for 3, 4, 5 hours of games. And for me, they put their body through hell. And I just like watching the talented tennis players. So I'm going to say, in terms of maybe no playing, but in terms of enjoyment of watching, in terms of what I think about the athletes, how they get to the level, I'm going to say tennis.
Okay, Alan?
There is a few sports that I'd watch outside of football, tennis included, golf, etc. But the one I probably enjoy most is the World Championship in snooker. Obviously, you know, ourselves, we like a game of snooker, and I think the kind of skill and the practice involved in it, I quite like watching snooker and playing it. So I would say that my second favourite sport, obviously beating JP a few times, it comes in a wee bit better. So
What about the times I
but
beat you? But don't be too
call it a draw, right?
don't be too hesitant, big fella.
I'm
Come
not
on.
laughing on this. Come on. But I'd probably
Mind,
say snooker.
mind that time I was a referee. And my waistcoat on and everything.
He's standing on top of the table, wasn't he?
I know. It was brilliant you having you as a referee, because every ball I potted, you added 2 onto Alan's score.
I can't count, mate. You know what I mean? So that's the thing.
Aye.
To answer your question, I'd go with snooker.
Yeah, easy for me too. Snooker, 100%. Well, I love watching it. I love playing it. Aye, snooker for me is dead easy. Right, last question, and we're there eventually. Ryan, the most important person you've got on your phone?
Most important person? What, in terms of
It
famous
says
or in
most
terms of your most important person?
Most important person on your phone. That's all it says.
It's got to be my mum and dad, innit? It's got to be. The other two
Can only
closest
be
to
one
me.
of them. So you need to pick one. Mum and dad's 2 people.
Well, people might be like, oh no, he's saying this, but I'm a bit of mummy's boy, so I'm going to say my mum, my wee mum. So I think for me it's got to be your mum in terms of I've got a good relationship with my parents. So
That's you getting your dinner made for you during the week anyway.
So I'm going to go my wee mum. If it's most important in terms of the most important person in your life and your phone book, then it's got to be my mum.
He's saying
Right,
that.
Alan, I know this is going to put you in a spot here. But most important person in your phone?
He's saying that so he doesn't need to eat cold beans all weekend.
Sitting with plunge.
No, I'd be similar in saying that my mum and dad are very important, but I've got my good lady wife sitting directly next to me, so I'm going to opt for my good lady wife. I know that Webby was this is maybe aimed at a lot of footballers, so they're looking for somebody famous, but sadly, we're no kind of maybe at that level. We're lucky enough to be kind of in contact with yourselves with Barry Bannon, but apart from that, I'm not really getting anybody else famous. So I'd say the most famous person is my wife, and
that means now you're getting warm beans this week, Alan. Now
I know. She knows how to work the microwave. Just work the toaster next.
It's lower pack bottle you'll get. It's lower pack bottle you'll get. No pack.
I know.
I'll need to get me some ice and all, because I can feel
to.
myself getting a hook.
Well, that's what I'm going to say. I'll know that style of love pack when you go to put it on your bread, bits of your surface, your worktop start to appear through the boat, mate.
That's a question all that on my piece.
But no, the most important person in my phone's got to be my missus, for me. If that's what Webby's meaning when he says that, I think, like you says, Alan, I think that might be dedicated for footballers and the managers that we've seen on Webby's channel speaking on these questions. But for me, the most important person's got to be my missus. No, that's it. She makes a joke all the time whenever we're sitting, if we're watching a film or whatever, and my phone will ping. And she'll go, "Who's texting you?" And I'll go, "How do I know that when I'm sitting here with you?" She says, "I'm sitting here, so who's texting you?" As if, how dare anybody else text me? So,
Donald Trump's just texted me now.
Aye, Donald. Sorry, Donald, I'm a wee bit busy now. We're trying to do this for Webby now.
No, I'm not sending the American candy. Donald, leave me alone.
The other most important person on my phone is Webby for Tenerife, right?
It's got to be Webby, I know, innit? It's got to be Webby as well, aye.
Well, it can't be for me, because Webby's not on my phone then.
I've not got married, Webby. What's happening here?
You're just agreeing with that, going, aye, Webby's the most important person. He's not even on your phone.
No, on Alan's phone, no my phone.
But you don't have Alan's phone unless you're about to share something with you know.
I'm locked up the basement and now he's got my phone.
He's got that. He's locked up where Liam Scales normally goes, isn't he?
I know.
Gonna tell him, how's it like on where you are? Because Liam's told me before the light it's always dark when he's in there.
My hands are so with rubbing the friction for a wee fire.
Keep us warm.
Well done, lads. That's 15 questions that Webby gave us. Webby, I hope this is good enough for you, pal. And all the best for the channel, folks. If anybody's interested in our sports roundup, I saw different types of sport. They're normally live on a Saturday morning as well. They're quite good. The lads are. Webby's got a bit of humour about him as well. He's a good guy, as the lad says. I've not met him directly in person, but the two lads with me tonight, they've met him in person, and Webby's been on our channel as well, on the Celtic Unrestricted View. So if anybody wants to tune in, it's Webby's Sports Roundup. It's free to subscribe, so if anybody wants to do that, you can go and subscribe and do the man the honour of giving them a watch. At the time of recording, I don't know when this will be out, but we'll hopefully get it amongst our supporters as well and let everybody see it. As I said, it's a wee bit of fun for us as well, lads. And no, I've enjoyed it. It's been good. It's been a good laugh and good reminiscing, obviously, in the good times and all.
Right. No,
That's been good.
It's been fantastic. So I just shout out to Webby, and I'm sure we'll see him again at some point when we're doing our travels over on the island of Tenerife. So we'll probably catch up with him at some point again. And
you can't miss him, by the way, because he's the only guy in Tenerife that wears a tartan bonnet, and it's a different colour every day. But above all else, everybody take care. Have a lovely weekend. We'll see you all later. Bye-bye.
See you later.
Right.
Well done, boys. Absolutely fantastic. Great questions and better answers than my questions. All three of them. Alan and all the boys. Listen, if you just joined the channel, Webby Sports Roundup in my little manner. It's a bit blowy up here in the gale. I mean, let's show famous. Listen, I'll always say, if you like what you see, you like what you hear, subscribe to Webby Sports Roundup. Funny channel, my geezer, it's my manner. Here in sunny Tenerife, and don't forget Celtic Unrestricted. Get onto the channel, give them some love. They deserve it. They work hard and they will follow, and they do. One of the biggest clubs in the world. I told you so. I'll see you on the next one. As soon as I'll get out of it.